What is up, Cruise Life? And today is a beautiful day because we're going to be talking about this great ship right here, Voyager of the Seas. We're going to talk about the history. We're going to give you a deck-by-deck tour, and we're going to tell you everything that you need to know about cruising on Voyager of the Seas.
When you first walk onto Voyager of the Seas, you're going to enter in on the outside promenade on deck 4. But we're going to go ahead and head up to the main promenade, the Royal Promenade on deck 5 to start this tour.
We are here on deck 5 with the Royal Promenade behind me. Now, back in 1999, this was pretty revolutionary. It actually increased the size of the ship by 40% over the previous Royal Caribbean ships, and was pretty cutting edge and pretty crazy to do this on a cruise ship, and really turned Voyager of the Seas into the predecessor to a lot of the other great Royal Caribbean ships like Oasis class ships, and now Icon with the amazing Royal Promenade that is on Icon of the Sea. So let's go check it out.
I wanted to start with the Royal Promenade here on deck 5 because it really is a dazzling 4-story interior boulevard that stretches from one end of the ship to the other. It's considered the heartbeat of the ship and is really a major artery for accessing many of the venues and activities. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sign here that shows everything that is on deck 5 as we move into the Royal Promenade, and just look at this atrium. And this atrium spans from all the way from deck 3 up to deck 11, and it's just pretty incredible. It was really something unique when Voyager of the Seas first came out. Moving on into the Royal Promenade, the first thing we have here is guest services. This is basically your one-stop shop to solve any problems that you might have. They'll handle a range of matters, including any billing questions or room concerns. Guest services is there 24 hours a day to assist with any issue that you might have or any questions that you might have about your bill. Right next to guest services is the shore excursion desk. Right next to the shore excursion desk, you'll also find the Voom desk. As we move from the Voom desk across the Royal Promenade, let's take a moment to look back at the elevators and just how cool is that. Across from the Voom desk is the R bar, which was introduced in 2019 to replace the old champagne bar. This is a retro chic lounge that offers specialty cocktails with upscale twists. It's a great place for people watching or meeting and having a drink before dinner, since it's right near the main dining room, which we'll get to in a little bit. Moving under the sign here and into the main promenade, we have the duty-free shops. We have the Regala fine jewelry shop. Across from there is the port merchants, which is where you're going to find duty-free liquor and tobacco. This is also where you're going to find any sundries or any meds, that over-the-counter meds that you may have forgotten. Moving on down the Royal Promenade, we are going to come to the Solarium, which is where you're going to get your makeup and perfume. And then next to that is the Royal Shop. This is where you're going to get all the Royal Caribbean themed merchandise. Next up, we have the Pig and Whistle, which is Voyager's British style pub. It offers a wide selection of beers and some craft liquor options. It's a great place to catch live acoustical music, and it's a great place to sit outside on the promenade and people watch too. If you get there early enough, it's a great place to catch some of the dance parties and also the parade. Moving across the Royal Promenade, we have another Regala store. This is where you're gonna find all your fine watches. And then back out into the Royal Promenade, we have the Coke machines. If you have the Coke Freestyle machines, if you have a soda package or a deluxe package, you will get a cup to use those. Now across the way, we're gonna walk into Cafe Promenade. Cafe Promenade is gonna be your spot to catch some Ben & Jerry's ice cream or a specialty coffee drink. Both of those are extras, but if you want free options, there is a free beverage station, and the food is also free at Cafe Promenade. It is staffed 24/7, so you can get pizza, late night pizza, and snacks all throughout the day that they rotate. Pretty cool. We have a British style telephone booth here to conceal the ATM, and then a classic car, which has become a staple on all of Royal Caribbean's ships in the Royal Promenade. Moving on from the Royal Promenade, we have one more shop to look at, the coach store, along with the sunglass shop. And then also we have a fashion shop with some designer clothes that's not Royal Caribbean themed. All right, we are now at the forward elevators here. Let's take a look up and check out this beautiful elevator Centrum. Moving past the elevators, we are going to move into the Crown Lounge, which is only accessible to those with Crown and Anchor status. If you do in fact have access to the Crown Lounge, you will get a notification in your stateroom. You can see here that there is a concierge desk and they do have certain hours. This is a great spot to come in and catch a cookie or get a espresso coffee. A lot of the loyal members to Royal Caribbean find this a great quiet spot to hang out. Moving on to the very forward of the ship, we have the Star Lounge. This is a multi-purpose venue, which is great to catch some live bands, dancing, entertainment. They do the art auctions here. The Star Lounge can be a nice quiet place to catch up with friends or catch a drink when the bar is open if the other bars on the Royal Promenade are busy. That's it for the Royal Promenade and Deck 5. Let's go ahead, before we head upstairs, let's go ahead and check out some of the other entertainment and dining areas downstairs. Hopefully you have enjoyed this ship tour. It would be a huge help if you would hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We are a young channel trying to grow, and we also are associated with a travel agency. The email address is down below in the description. We would love to help you book that next Royal Caribbean cruise. Since we are forward, we're going to go ahead and head all the way down to Deck 1. This is the gangway where you're going to get on and off the ship while you're in port. And this is also where the medical center is. Now, if you have any issues medical-wise, make sure you call first. Typically, you have to have an appointment. If you have a medical emergency, dial 911. Moving up to Deck 2 is where you have the loyalty desk. So if you need to discuss any Crown and Anchor issues, that's where you'll find the loyalty desk. Check the app for hours when that desk is staffed. And then we also have the conference center. One thing to note is that you can't get from one end of the ship without having to go up to Deck 4. This is because of Studio B. Let's go ahead and head up to Deck 3 and head into the Royal Theater. The main entrance to the Royal Theater is on Deck 3. It does span 2 decks up to Deck 4, where you have a balcony, which we'll check out here in just a minute. This is a great spot to catch the production shows, comedians. They do game shows in the Royal Theater. Sometimes they'll do movies, but it's pretty big. I found that if you get there about 15 minutes early, you'll have no problems finding seats, especially if you want to sit up in the balcony. Heading up into the balcony, you can see there's a ton of seating up here. There's a great spot to go and check out if you're running a little bit late and still want to see the show. Moving from Deck 3 up to Deck 4, check out this beautiful staircase. Deck 4, when you get to the top, you're going to be greeted with the Schooner Bar and Giovanni's. But before we check those out, I first want to go ahead and talk about the outside promenade. Now, this outside promenade does wrap entirely around the ship, but you can get to it from Deck 4. If you want to get up on the bow of the ship, then you have to walk up the stairs. But that's a great spot to catch a sail away or just go get some fresh air. Heading back inside, you're going to find Giovanni's table on Deck 4 forward. This is right next to the Royal Theater, and it is a specialty restaurant, which means you are going to pay extra to dine there, but it is Royal Caribbean's Italian restaurant, and I highly recommend the filet over the filet and chops. The food here was very good. I did eat here and had a wonderful meal. Across from Giovanni's, you're going to find the Schooner Bar, situated on Deck 4 forward, and this is a nautical themed bar that's very popular to catch a drink, meet up with friends, play trivia. They do a variety of different activities in the Schooner Bar, and there's typically a piano player at night that takes requests. I mean, it's a Royal Caribbean classic for a reason, and people love the Schooner Bar. Moving from Schooner Bar, we have Casino Royale. This is a pretty good sized casino, and they have a variety of different slots: video poker, blackjack, craps, roulette, and other various table games. There are parts of it that are smoking and non-smoking. I love the fact that the casino bar is located in the middle, and then we also have your casino host desk along with the cashier, and there are some TVs that are right there, which was a great spot to, when I was on the cruise, to catch some playoff football games. Moving from the casino, we have the tavern, which is this sports themed bar and a great place to catch a variety of different games. Across from the tavern, we have the art gallery. Because we can't get from one end of the ship to the other on decks 2 and 3, let's go ahead and head down to deck 3 and check out the focus photo area. This is a great place to check out your photos that have been taken by the ship photographers. You can also buy a GoPro if you want to, or other GoPro accessories, video equipment, things like that. Moving on from here, we have Studio B.
We are in front of Studio B here, and this is the very first ice skating rink at sea. This was something that Royal Caribbean, I think, wanted to do for a wow factor. And imagine an ice skating rink in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean. How crazy is that? Back in 1999. Another interesting fact is that Katrina Witt, the Olympic figure skater, is the godmother of this ship because Royal Caribbean wanted to promote Studio B, the ice skating rink. So let's go check it out.
Studio B is a multi-purpose area. During the day, it's filled with a variety of different activities like laser tag. In the evening, it's where you're going to catch the ice show with the professional figure skaters. They also do other events like a nightclub, and sometimes they'll do a game show here as well. I think this is one thing that really genuinely made Voyager of the Seas unique, it being the first ice skating rink at sea. Moving from Studio B and staying on the aft end of the ship on deck 3, we're going to move into the main dining room. The main dining room spans from 3 decks, from deck 3 up to deck 5, and the aft end of the ship. It's available for breakfast and dinner every day of your cruise, and then lunch on certain sea days. The dress code does change throughout the cruise. Some nights are casual, some are dress your best or what are considered more formal. No shorts in the evening. So when you book your cruise, you have basically several options. You have My Time, which is going to be on deck 3, and that's also where you're going to have breakfast and lunch. And then you can have traditional dining, which is the same wait staff and table time every night on decks 4 and 5. Let's go ahead and work our way up to deck 4 and check out the views from deck 4. They do change the decor depending on which floor you're on. Moving from deck 4 up to deck 5, we actually have the chef's table. So chef's table is an exclusive dining type experience for just a limited number of guests, usually somewhere between 12 or 14. It's located in a private area in the main dining room, and it's a multi-course meal with wine pairings. It is an extra charge. It's the most expensive specialty dining experience on Voyager of the Seas, but I've done it before and it is certainly worth the extra. Moving on to deck 5, this is the top floor. Let's take a tour. We have now toured everything from decks 1 up to deck 5, and let's head up to deck 6. This is where you're going to find NextCruise. This is the only public area. The rest of the deck is passenger cabins. NextCruise is where you're going to book that NextCruise. Doing so gets you some extra onboard credits and typically reduced deposits. You don't have to know when you want to do that cruise. You can just make a deposit and you have 60 days to make that decision once you finish your cruise. Deck 7 is where you're going to find the library midship. This was a pretty popular spot. There were always people here, and it was a great place to play cards and board games. And they do have books that you can, I think, check in and out. Decks 8 through 10 are all staterooms, so there's no public spaces on these decks. We will go ahead and head up to deck 11. All right, we are now on deck 11 on the midship aft area. There are no interior areas forward. So let's go ahead and head into Windjammer Marketplace, which is Voyager's buffet restaurant, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a casual type setting. Although it does close for the crew to reset typically between lunch and dinner, and it does get crowded at certain times, usually around 9:30, 10 o'clock for breakfast, or earlier depending if it's a port day, and then 6 o'clock for dinner. The food variety is excellent, and there's a lot of different favorites along with varieties of international cuisine. One thing that I really like is that you can get made to order items like omelets for breakfast, or in the evening they have made to order pasta stations. You have a Windjammer bar. This is a full service bar including coffees, so it's a great place to go get coffee in the morning, and your drink package works here as well. One of my favorite things about Windjammer is to go grab a quick bite to eat or a dessert and something to drink and head to the back of the ship and catch some of the spectacular views out the back of the ship. Moving from Windjammer, we head outside and around the corner to Chops Grill. Chops Grill is Royal Caribbean's signature steakhouse. They offer premium cuts better than what you're going to get in the main dining room for typically $50 or so a person. Again, it's cheaper to pre-buy it. I've always had great service and amazing meals, and I've eaten it just about every Chops, and it has that classic steakhouse atmosphere. Right next to Chops, you are going to find Sprinkles, so check the app for day and times. This isn't always open, but it's usually during the busy times on the pool deck, and this is where you're going to get your soft serve ice cream. Now that we are outside on deck 11, we are going to check out the main pool area. So this is really, during the day, this is typically your main hub of activity on Voyager seas. The main pool area is actually split up into 2 separate pools and 4 hot tubs, 2 of which are covered, which is certainly a nice feature. Surrounding the pools are a bunch of lawn chairs. The pool deck does span between both decks 11 and 12 with a variety of different seating areas. The deck chairs on the pool deck tend to fill up, so you can always head up to deck 12. Overall, I felt like there was a ton of areas to sit in, both in the shade as well as in the sun. Making our way towards midship, you will find the pool bar. You will find service at your lawn chair, but you can always walk up to the pool bar. Now, this isn't the biggest pool bar, but if it is busy, you can always head up to the Sky Bar on deck 12. Here is the big open area, which they actually use for the sailaway party, and then you can see the stage, which is used for the Caribbean band and also the DJ for different events. Next up, we have the towel station. So this is Royal Caribbean provides free towels. You do have to check them in and out and make sure you return them. Otherwise, you might be subject to a $25 per towel fee. Across from the towel station is the Tide and Trail. Let's go ahead and head into the Solarium. So deck 11, the Solarium is an adults only area, which features 1 good sized pool along with 2 pretty good sized hot tubs. I really enjoy these hot tubs. What's nice about the Solarium is it does feature some padded loungers, which are a nice upgrade from just the regular deck chairs. And unlike some other Royal Caribbean ships, the Solarium here on Voyager is open air rather than enclosed by glass. There are pluses and minuses to that, but the 2 hot tubs are covered and provided in shade, protecting them from rain, and are good options in inclement or cooler weather. The Solarium is a much quieter area, and like I said, there are spots in the sun and also in the shade along the perimeter. You do have a Solarium bar, which is by far much more relaxed than the main pool bar. Continuing on with the pool area and heading up to deck 12, this is where you're going to find typically less crowded and a lot more deck chairs. Deck 12 wraps around the entire ship, offering sun decks. There is little shade, so it's a great place to sunbathe. The lounge chairs up here don't go as quick, and the bar up here does tend to be far less busy. The Sky Bar is a great place to go hang out, and I think they are doing like cigar nights up here now too. If you feel like getting some exercise, the jogging track is on deck 12. On top of the sky bar, you will find another sunbathing area, and past the solarium with stair access from deck 12 is the front viewing area. Now this tends to be very quiet and a great place if you want to get out of the main jogging track area to sunbathe and enjoy a breeze. Now that we've hit all of the outside areas on deck 12, let's go ahead and check out the inside areas. On deck 12, we have the Vitality Spa and Fitness Center. So as you walk into the spa, you will see the fitness center to your right here. There is a pretty good size activity room where they do specialty classes and cycling classes and things like that. Make sure you check the app for the schedule for those. You might have to pay a slight cost. Now this gym is not the biggest gym in the world. The free weight areas seem to be a little bit small. I know that they did modernize it, but as we head out of the gym, we're gonna head into the spa. Here you're gonna find the salon so you can get your hair done or nails done. They do not have a thermal suite on this ship, but they do have a relaxation room here where you can go and relax prior to any of your spa treatments. Leaving the Vitality Spa area, we are now going to head to Adventure Ocean, which is also on deck 12. Adventure Ocean is Royal Caribbean's complimentary youth program. It's divided up into different age groups depending on your child's age. This area was refurbished in 2019 and the spaces were redesigned. Obviously, I can't film in these areas when there are children. Here, just some quick views. My suggestion is to the first day, they do tours of these areas if you do have kids, and it's also a good time to register your kids. Moving beyond, we have the Challengers Arcade, which features a variety of different video games and claw machines, racing games. This is a cashless system, so you use your SeaPass card. You can buy credits prior to the cruise or while you're on the cruise. Heading up to deck 13, we are going to find the sports court and the aft end of the ship. You can see today was a pretty crowded day, so they do all kinds of different activities, as well as you also have the climbing wall. The sport court accommodates basketball, volleyball, soccer, pickleball, and they have different tournaments. So check the cruise planner for those dates and times. All right, I have found the climbing wall back in the sports area. Voyager of the Seas was the very first ship to actually have a climbing wall. Now, I think all of the Royal Caribbean ships have climbing walls. The Waterslides were added in 2019 during the refurbishment. The Perfect Storm Waterslides provide some thrilling rides with amazing views at the highest point on the ship. These slides are a lot of fun, but certainly can get busy during sea days. My advice is to get back to the ship early on a port day, or better yet, bring a bathing suit on embarkation. The FlowRider is a surf simulator that lets you try either a boogie board or a continuous wave. It's complimentary, although there are private sessions or private lessons that are available for an extra cost. It's a lot of fun just to hang out and watch everybody. There's some pretty talented flow riders. Below the flow rider, you'll find a great seating area on the very back of the ship with some amazing views. It's another sort of secret quiet spot, and it's a great place to check out the sail away. Around the corner is also the teen area, or the teen lounge, which was renovated in 2019. Headed back up to deck 13, you have Voyager Dunes, which is a 9-hole mini golf course. This is a fun activity and it's completely free, and it's a great way to have a little competition between family or friends. Headed back inside and up to deck 14, we have Izumi. This is the Japanese style restaurant where they serve sushi, sashimi, and a variety of other Japanese style foods. This is an extra charge, so you can pre-purchase this. They do have set menu, or you can also do a la carte. Headed out of Izumi, past the elevators, you're gonna find the Viking Crown Lounge. I think this is one of the great things about Voyager of the Seas is this signature observation area at the very top of the ship with near 360-degree views that overlooks the pool deck. It's certainly a great place to come and relax during the day if you don't want to deal with a crowded pool deck on a sea day, and it's usually pretty quiet during the day. At night, it livens up and turns into the disco, our dance club, which is a lot of fun. There is a bar up here, and you'll have to check the app to see what time the bar is open, but typically it's in the late afternoon into the wee hours of the morning. Right next to the High Notes bar is the Suite Lounge. So this is exclusive to suite guests in a grand suite or above, and certain Pinnacle loyalty members. They have a variety of different complimentary things. All right, we are almost done here. We're gonna go ahead up to deck 15 and our very last area, which is the Skylight Chapel. It is the highest accessible public space on Voyager, and it offers a you can see it's pretty quiet and picturesque. They do small weddings and religious services up here. It is one of the few, the Voyager class ships is one of the few that still has a chapel on it. That is it for this tour of Voyager of the Seas. Thank you for watching to the end. And in conclusion, I think Voyager of the Seas is a great ship. I hope that you've enjoyed this tour. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the like button. If you have cruised on Voyager of the Seas, let us know what is your favorite part of Voyager of the Seas in the comments. This is Ali with Cruise Life, and if you need any help with booking a Royal Caribbean cruise, our email address is in the description below. Want to know what it's like to board Voyager of the Seas? Then check out this video next.